I honestly don't think there's ever a wrong time for candles. So I have my candles lit and I'm sitting on the porch. It is after 9. That's one of the things that I love about this time of year is that there is so much more sunlight, and so it is 70 degrees. It's lovely and warm, and on the porch with some candles, which to me is just glorious. So the next couple of days of videos, it's various topics, but they're questions. And my whole premise and purpose and desire is for people to ask questions. Because if your thought process doesn't make sense with scripture, then something is wrong. And if your thought process doesn't make sense with the scripture, then your thought process is wrong. So I come from a place where I believed what I was told, but I had been lied to. And certainly not all pastors are like that, but that was my experience in many of the churches that I went to. And so we should be asking questions. If it doesn't make sense and we think there's a contradiction, it's because we don't have understanding. So we should ask questions. And there's nothing wrong with saying, I don't know. I hadn't thought of that before. So how do we ever get to the truth if we don't ask questions? We should ask questions. And we should reevaluate what we believe if it doesn't line up with scripture. So the next several days, they're just different topics, but they're questions that I want you to ask yourself based upon what you believe. What do you believe because you've maybe read it incorrectly? What do you think? Probably most likely because it's what you've been told or what you've been taught. So if your thought process does not line up with scripture, then you need to change your thought process. I know people say that the Bible has contradictions, but it isn't. What's contrary is our thought process because we don't understand what it is. And there are things that I have yet to learn. I want to learn them, but there are things that I have yet to learn. So if somebody tells me something that I don't know anything about, I listen to what they have to say. If they tell me something that I know is contrary to the scriptures, that's something I want to discuss with them. But if your thought process is separate or different from what God says, then your thought process is wrong. So let's look here in Acts. So Paul has gone to Berea, and then Silas is with him. And so let's pick up in Acts 17, verse 10. Here's what it says. Then the brethren immediately sent Paul and Silas away by night to Berea. When they arrived, they went into the synagogue of the Jews. These were far more fair-minded than those in Thessalonica, in that they received the word with all readiness and searched the scriptures daily to find out whether these things were so. They searched the scriptures daily. And they were asking questions. They were sitting around going, okay, well, what do you think? Yeah, maybe. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. They thought about it and they talked about it and that they helped each other understand. And that's what we all need to do. We need to help each other understand. But we should be questioning. So the next couple of videos, they're just questions, things I want you to ask yourself based upon what you believe. Armor Up, we ride at dawn. May God bless you as always. Have a great day.